All right, so this week's topic of Amuna Mondays was realigning your desires. And before we begin, there's actually a sponsor for this week, and it is dedicated to Mordechai Ben Sarah. And so may all his mazal be filled and revealed. So again, running it back, this week's topic of Amuna Mondays is aligning your desires. And this week, I didn't really have a topic. It was super last minute. I was actually on my way Friday and driving, and I saw the most amazing full rainbow. And I was like, wow, this thing is, wow, that's a rainbow. And then right as I saw it, it started occurring to me like, I shouldn't be so wowed and fascinated and attracted to this thing, because what it stands for is not good. It stands for the whole thing about when you see a rainbow, it's resembling the fact that God wants to go ahead and has should be destroying the world, but he made us a promise at the flood that he won't do it again, and that's what the rainbow symbolizes. So it's not a good thing. You shouldn't be like, wow, this is amazing, this is so good. It's like, oh my gosh, this is bad. And yeah, it made me wonder, why are we naturally attracted to things that are not good? For instance, there's a rule in nature. If it's colorful and bright and attractive, it's most likely poisonous. And if you think about it, it's just going about it. It's this day and age, it's most people can feel like if they're attracted to it, most of the time it will end up being like, wow, that definitely was not the move, or it wasn't a good decision, or this and that. And it's why? And I was let me look more into it. Why is that the scenario? And the thing is, God did not make it so that we're naturally at a disadvantage, because you would think if I'm naturally drawn to these things, and these things turn out to be bad, then that's a fair assumption to say that I'm naturally drawn to negative things. And it's that feels like I'm at a disadvantage in life. I'm born into a disadvantage. I'm naturally attracted to non-good things. So instead, you're again, last week's topic was all about perspective, and it's all about the way you look at it. It's we can either look at these things as they're appealing to us, wow, it's attractive, or it's they're standing out, and that's a clear red flag that Hashem's giving us. Hashem's showing us the red flag, but we're choosing to see it as a green flag. So when I go and see a colorful plant or a really nice looking frog, it's oh my gosh, it's so bright, it's so cool. I'm attracted to it. And it's and then all of a sudden it's poisonous, and it's oh my gosh. Or you can be wow, it stands out. It's so colorful. The colors are so vibrant. It's that's the very thing that it's God telling me to stay away from it, because it's so it's so clear. But it's all a matter of how you choose to see it. It's either the red flag or it's a green flag. And the thing is, though, we have to acknowledge that we are the furthest generation to Hashem. We're just spiritually, we're so disconnected. And as soon as you acknowledge and accept that, then you'll realize that it makes sense. It makes sense why we're naturally attracted to all the things that we're not supposed to be doing, we're attracted to. Or the negative things, it's we're attracted to negative. Why? Because we are the most disconnected generation to Hashem. We're so disconnected to the point where Hashem's red flags are appearing as green flags to us. That's how messed up and disconnected our minds are. So naturally we're attracted, but as soon as you can acknowledge that we are the most disconnected nation and disconnected generation, that most of the time it's normal. Again, it's normal to feel and think the way you're thinking and feeling, but understand that it's all because of the fact that you're so disconnected. And once you can acknowledge that, then you can start working on it and realize, you know what, there's a big advantage to this. People would then think, oh, we're at a disadvantage because we're the most disconnected nation and generation. But yet it's the complete opposite. Again, it all comes down to perspective. You can see it as we're so disconnected, and because of that, it's so difficult. Or we can see it as we're so disconnected that it's actually so much easier to connect to God. And it's whoa, what do you mean by that? And it's simply because we're so disconnected, and society as a whole is so disconnected from Hashem that honestly, you don't even have to know the knowledge. You don't even have to know what a mitzvah is, technically speaking. You don't even have to know what's good and what's bad. You just have to know what is the norm and do the opposite of it. And you are most of the time, if not every single time, aligning with the Torah. Because again, that's how disconnected we are. We're so disconnected that the norm goes completely against the Torah. So it's like all you have to do is step off the norm. Whatever the norm's doing is they're doing this, step off the path. Do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. And most of the time, you're actually benefiting. You're actually in the right with the Torah. And that's a big advantage because it's like you don't even technically need that much knowledge. You just have to do the opposites. Be able to step out and accept the fact that we're so disconnected with Hashem and so disconnected to the whole entire nations. We're so disconnected from Torah as a whole that you don't even actually have to know what it is. Just do the opposite of. So that was like a sneak peek onto what this Amunah Mondays was, and hope everything is good and you enjoy. See you next week.